This podcast was pre-recorded before the passing of Ray Liotta.
Our thoughts and prayers go out to the Liotta family, and may he rest in peace.
Welcome back to the One Shot Podcast. I'm your host, Vincent.
And I'm Johnny. We're actually joined by a special guest today.
Hello, everybody. I go by the name of Nick, a.k.a. Young Wolf. Either one is fine. How's everybody doing today?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing good.
I'm doing well. I've had a fun weekend, so it's nice to.
What'd you do this weekend?
I went to go see Gunna.
Oh, really?
I was out in Binghamton for the weekend visiting a young lady, and I went to cover the Mets AA team, the Rumble Ponies. Okay. And then I also happened to go see Gunna as well because he was at Binghamton University.
Nice.
That's sick. That's
it was
really
a fun
cool.
time. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Right. John, what did you do this weekend?
Not that much. I had to work on Saturday.
Work always gets in the way.
Got to watch a couple movies this weekend. I went and saw the new Fantastic Beasts movie.
Nice.
So confusing. I mean, the last one came out 4 years ago, and that was the last time I saw it. So I was really confused seeing it. And there was no Johnny Depp, so that threw me off.
Yeah, right. I don't care about that.
I know you don't care about Harry Potter.
You're not a Harry Potter guy?
Nah, not a Harry Potter.
It's okay.
Harry Potter. I'm not a Fantastic Beasts guy, but Harry Potter was cool for like the first 3 or 4 movies.
Yeah. No, I mean, the thing about the new Harry Potter movie,
it just seems like they're
Secrets of Dumbledore, it was a little forced and slow-paced. I was, I don't know, a little bored by it.
It seems like they're just milking the franchise,
Oh,
kind of
without a
just
doubt.
like they're doing with Star Wars. But Star Wars, they're actually
trying to
do new
fresh.
stuff that we've never seen before, like with the Solo show that's coming out. And
wait, there's a Solo show?
A solo story.
Oh, sorry, not Solo. Obi-Wan show.
I was
sorry.
gonna say, what the hell are you talking about?
I don't know. For some reason I had Solo on my mind.
Oh well, that's okay. But yes, in last week's episode, we did Rescued by Ruby, the movie on Netflix.
Great cinematic film. The script could have been better.
Script was absolutely awful. That was with Grant Gustin and the dog. He's a canine. He wants to be a canine police officer.
Yes.
But he's a state trooper, and he struggles with a bunch of different things throughout the film, and we find him eventually becoming a canine unit officer.
Yes, and saving a young boy.
Yeah.
In the process.
So what are we gonna do in this episode?
This episode we're doing, we're taking it back actually.
Yeah.
To another a '90s film, Goodfellas.
Yeah, this is a
classic. Yes.
So Goodfellas is a 1990 film. It was released on September 19th. It is rated R, and the runtime is 2 hours and 25 minutes long, and it is a biography, crime, and drama film.
Yes, which, if you don't know, it is actually based on a true story, and there was a book about it beforehand, and this movie is kind of based off the book.
Yeah, the book
they
is
say
called
it's not,
Wise Guy.
of course it's not 100% accurate, but they do say it represents the book and the real life very well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they definitely. This was like the era of mob movies, like
oh my god.
Oh yeah.
This is that was like the prime of that.
Oh, without a doubt, and you'll see it in the cast. And when we dive into this cast, all of these guys are in Italian mob movies.
Star-studded cast.
So yeah, let's jump into the plot of the film. You want to read that for me, Vinny?
Yeah. The lowly blue-collared side of New York's Italian mafia is explored in this crime biopic of wise guy Henry Hill. As he makes his way from strapping young petty criminal to big-time thief to middle-aged cocaine addict and dealer, the film explores in detail the rules and traditions of organized crime. Watching the rise and fall of Hill and his 2 counterparts, the slick jack-of-all-trades criminal Jimmy Conway and the brutish, intimidating Tommy DeVito. This true story realistically explores the core, blue-collar part of the mob.
Yeah, I feel like that's a pretty good explanation. I
can't get any better than that.
I kind of had a dig for this one because the original one that I found, it was just like, this
what,
movie
like
is
IMDb.
Yeah, IMDb's was really short and plain.
A lot of IMDb's are very short. You got to find some good ones. Sometimes even if you just look up the movie title and then like just put it in Google, say Goodfellas plot, they'll give you a better explanation. Than IMDb or say like Rotten Tomatoes, anything like that.
Yeah, no doubt. I had to dig for it because like the original one was like, it's blue collar mafia movie with Tommy DeVito and Jimmy Conway. It didn't say anything about them.
Yeah.
Right.
So it just said it's a mob. It's a
And
mob
that
movie.
thing, they don't even mention the main character, Henry Hill.
No, they don't. But he is. The book's about him.
He's the least famous one.
Yeah, I think that's possibly why.
As far as like cast and probably in real life too. Honestly.
Yeah,
that's no doubt.
I mean, speaking of cast, let's just jump right into
Yeah.
it.
Right.
So first off, we have the great Robert De Niro, and he plays James or Jimmy Conway, and he is most known for his, well, I guess you could say his roles as an Italian or an Irishman. He starred in the 2019 film The Irishman, and it's kind of the same kind of thing
Yeah.
as this film.
I heard a lot of people liked it, but they said it was too long.
It was too long, but it's honestly one of my favorite films I've ever seen.
Because it's 3 hours, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a long.
They
it's
said
a long
it.
movie.
I heard people saying that it was too long.
It was a little long. It was, I think, 3 hours and like 15 minutes or something like that. But it was a really solid film. I really
Did you
enjoyed
see it, Nick?
I did not, but I will say that if it's a mob movie and De Niro's not in it, I have questions.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he's clearly really old in the film. They depict that
put
really well.
makeup on him, right?
Yeah, they make him look really old. Like what, snow white hair, wrinkles on his face, glasses.
Like
I mean, he
older
has
than-
glasses, but
He already is?
Who's he playing
Kind of.
in that? Like,
I can't remember.
is it a different guy?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's not.
yeah.
It's
It's
not
not
based.
connected.
It's not connected to Goodfellas
Yeah.
at all.
He plays a guy. Let's see here.
He's the Irishman, I would assume.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, so that is obviously directed by Martin Scorsese, who's the same
Another
director
one.
as this.
Yep.
So they're obviously connected in that
Besties.
aspect. He plays Frank Sheeran.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
Yeah, he's the main character, and he plays this similar role that he plays in this film.
I know a comedian that an Italian comedian
Mm-hmm.
that I like. Super funny guy. He's got a lot of great bits. He actually he got a role in that, like a very very small role.
Really?
But I think they casted him because he was a funny Italian guy.
Yeah,
Right.
of course.
So
Naturally, that just works. He is also known for his work in the Godfather series. He was in 2 and 3. He was in the film Taxi Driver from
the
1976.
most famous line. You know,
Yeah.
you talking to me?
Yeah, come
Uh-huh.
on.
Come on.
Come on, you talking to me?
Nah, yeah. Taxi Driver. That's big.
So the next film that he was in is The Deer Hunter from 1978. I'm not really familiar with that one. Are you guys at all?
Nah.
No.
No, I'm not
No
really
idea.
sure. And then this one was pretty popular. We have a couple guys throughout this cast that was in this film as well. Raging Bull from 1980.
Okay.
Yeah.
That one I
was-
haven't seen.
That's
I have
like
not seen that
that's
either.
like one of those big time sports movies. Like you gotta watch. De
It
Niro-
looked like it was a boxing film.
Yeah, De Niro did his thing in that
Oh,
one.
okay.
Okay.
Right.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So who do we have up next?
Next up, we have Ray Liotta as Henry Hill, our main character.
Yep.
He is known for Narc, Revolver, and Something Wild.
None of which I have seen or heard of.
I'm not
He
gonna
was
lie.
also-
He's known for Goodfellas.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's about
And
it.
then,
Yeah.
and then he has his issues with substance abuse that a lot of people
Yeah.
know about too.
That
Because he
definitely
did
comes
he did
into
like
effect.
a whole commercial thing
yeah.
about his substance abuse and all
Yeah,
that stuff, and he
exactly.
was very open
PSA.
about it now, especially now that he's sober and all that
Mm-hmm.
stuff.
I mean, I went through his IMDb. He's still acting. It's just not.
Yeah, he was
really
in
big
he was
projects.
in the one of the new Adam Sandler movies.
Was he really?
Ooh.
Yeah, it was
Oh.
it was like a goofy one. It was called Hubie's Halloween.
He was in that.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's really cool. I didn't see that on his thing. I must have.
Which you wouldn't
missed it.
expect him to be in it.
Yeah.
You don't think he would co-star with, Adam
Adam Sandler.
I was about to
Sandler.
say Adam Sandler movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Huh.
That's rough.
Yeah.
I never knew that.
Because usually in Adam Sandler movies, it's like the 5 main guys: David Spade,
Yeah, all of
Kevin
them.
James,
Rob Schneider.
Rob Schneider. Yeah.
Those boys, yeah.
Um,
But I mean, yeah, Ray Liotta. Mostly, I've seen Goodfellas. I'll see him in like an episode like Blue Bloods or something. I feel like one of those random like procedurals. Like,
probably.
he'll be in.
Yeah.
But like I don't know, he kind of just fell off.
He did. I mean, he's just not in big projects. He's acting continuously like since then. It's just nothing
Nothing
that
major.
blew up.
Right.
I think it's also because even in this movie, like don't get me wrong, he wasn't bad in this movie. He was
No.
really good.
Right.
But he got, I don't want to say,
Carried.
yeah, like Joe Pesci, De Niro, like he just got
Yeah.
he got dealt a bad hand. Like
Yeah.
those guys.
That's
just,
very true.
They
You know.
carried this film.
Yeah.
Heavily,
Oh, yeah.
heavily. Like
De Niro most definitely carried this
yeah.
film.
I mean, but we'll save some of this for acting when we get down to that.
Yeah.
But up next we have the great Joe Pesci, and he plays Tommy DeVito. probably one of my favorite characters in this film.
Great character.
He is known for Raging Bull as well as Robert De Niro. So they're both in that film. He is also in The Irishman of 2019 with Robert De Niro.
Of course.
So you see this sort of connection. They're both in these Italian mafia type
They both
of
did
movies.
Casino too, didn't they? I feel like they're both in Casino.
I think they might have.
I think they're both in that.
Yeah, he's also in My Cousin Vinny.
Great movie. I
Which
love
is a
that
really good
movie
movie.
so much.
I haven't seen it in a
so
long time.
fun. It's so funny.
Yeah.
So funny.
OG, like, everybody's obsessed with Aunt May now, but like My Cousin
my
Vinny is
God.
when Aunt May
yeah.
was popping.
Dude.
Shout out Marissa Tomei in
Yeah.
that movie.
Oh my God, she is beautiful.
Yeah, and the scene with her on the stand is like,
Yeah, where she's
Phenomenal.
where they talk about the tire, the skid marks, the
Yeah.
tire marks, all that. Yep.
oh man.
And up now we have Lorraine Bracco as Karen Hill, and she is known for The Sopranos,
Yeah.
Medicine Man,
Which I have not seen. I
never even
not
heard of
sure.
that,
Yeah.
and The Basketball Diaries.
Basketball Diaries, I looked into that a
DiCaprio,
little
right?
bit. Yeah, I was with DiCaprio. I
Okay.
wasn't sure what it was really about,
I think that's his first movie.
but yeah, it's
DiCaprio's 1st movie?
this was
Okay.
in '95, so it's definitely early in his career.
Right.
So yeah, I haven't seen her in anything really recently. She, like everyone in this cast, is still acting today,
Yeah.
and they have been continuously. So it's just like I said before, it's nothing major.
Yeah.
They're taking little roles or they're starring in some, but it's not like a Hollywood blockbuster.
Right.
She did The Sopranos though, which is pretty like.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
that's
she
big
which is
time.
big.
I
That's
think,
big.
I think after like, that was probably such a really good check that she was just like, all right, now I'm like,
Yeah, now
I'm
Yeah.
kind of set, you know.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Sopranos is still on TV to this day.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I
They're
mean-
still getting.
yeah, but she was in it from '99 to 2007. And then obviously they get their checks from reruns, so
Yep.
Exactly.
people are still making good money. Which, speaking of that, I didn't know people get checks for that stuff.
What, reruns?
Getting like for reruns.
Yeah.
Like
Even like
syndication and stuff?
writers, directors, all of the above. Everybody gets checks for that.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it could be like for one episode you get like $20. It just depends on how much it's viewed.
Yeah.
Or
It
how
just-
much
Well, why
it's
do you
watched.
think like Big Bang went on for so long, but now they're
Yeah.
still even showing reruns?
Oh, I know.
And they're making millions.
There's a reason
Yeah.
why if you look at like the richest comedians in the world, like every year Seinfeld's still on the top of the list.
Yeah,
Yes.
of course.
He's gonna make money off that
Yeah.
show.
Yeah.
Like,
regardless.
These people don't need to work as
Yeah.
much
No.
because they have those checks coming in. And say you're in a ton of shows and movies, you're getting checks from multiple films
Yeah. Exactly.
once a month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that adds up.
It's crazy.
I saw something on TikTok. This guy was a writer for a bunch of different shows, and he would get like $30 a month, depending on how much it was watched. $100, $300.
That's
And it was
crazy though, to
depending
just kind of have that random
Yeah,
income. Because
I
like,
know it's nice.
say
it's
say
like
you're
passive income.
Yeah.
after
Say
the
say
fact.
like you're working on something, and then it's like, oh, I'm just chilling out. You go get your mail. It's like $200 check for
Yeah,
you
something
know
I did
How
30
I Met
years
Your
ago.
Mother.
Yeah,
Yeah.
something
It's
you did
nice,
so
yeah.
long ago, and
Yeah.
it's nice. I didn't know that aspect of the field
Yeah, it's
until
great.
like recently. So
Yeah,
I thought that was pretty cool.
Most definitely.
Yeah. So up next we have Paul Sorvino, and he plays Mr. Pauly, the mob boss, Pauly Sorvino. He is
Cicero.
Cicero.
Come
Sorry.
on.
I can't see my screen's a little far away. He plays Pauly Cicero, and he's known for The Rocketeer from 1991. I haven't seen that one. I have no idea
Yeah,
what that one's about, to be
nope.
honest. He's also in Nixon in 1995. And then he's in something I've never heard of, but it was in 2008. Repo, the Genetic Opera. I have no idea what that one is.
For some reason, I can kind of see him as like an opera guy.
An opera guy.
Yeah, I don't know.
And fun
It's
fact,
'cause-
I took some notes on him. He was born in Brooklyn. His mom, Angela, was a piano teacher and obviously he's Italian. His father was an Italian immigrant who worked in a robe factory as a foreman. And then Paul initially had his heart set on being an opera singer. So that's his connection to that. And eventually he went on to study dramatic arts while studying at the American Musical and Dramatic Academy in New York. So
Yeah.
that's his connection there. But you wouldn't think that he would be that kind of guy.
No, from
after
this movie,
seeing
no,
this film.
no
No,
way.
I was about to say he did not seem like a
but
singing kind of guy.
Since he said that, like
Mm-hmm.
in my head, I was just kind of like, yeah, it could happen.
It
I can
could.
see it.
It just takes a little convincing because,
Right.
like, in this film, you see him, he's quiet. He
He's
doesn't talk.
Pauly.
He doesn't
He's,
move.
You know,
right.
The guy doesn't freaking lift a finger.
He's the big bad.
Yeah.
Not big bad, but you know what I mean. Like
Yeah.
He's the king.
Yeah, no, I got you. And then there's a surprise appearance in this film.
Which I didn't pick up on until literally rewatching it.
Yeah, I mean, he looks totally different. The guy's like half of his weight.
It's kind of like
now.
it's kind of like he kind of looks like how he does in Pulp Fiction, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Obviously, if you don't know what we're talking about, Samuel L. Jackson, and he plays Stax. He's this clumsy guy who's always late. He's only in it for like 5 minutes max.
Yeah, they show him right after the big heist. That's when they they show.
Because he was supposed to get rid of a truck, and he got high, fell asleep, I think he slept at his girl's house. The cops found it, and then they had
found the truck.
They had to whack
fingerprints.
Yep. Yeah, exactly.
Joe Pesci did that.
Yeah, and that was Joe Pesci. So this cast, do we like the cast? Is there anybody that we would recast?
No, if you go ahead.
I was gonna say I think the cast is really good. Again, we kind of touched on this earlier. Ray Liotta as Henry Hill, it works. Did he do that great of a job? No, but he didn't really have to. Like he did.
Yeah.
He was like a solid actor, and he was surrounded by
immense talent.
Yeah.
So I'm fine with the cast. If they have to, if they had to pay Pesci and De Niro a lot, and they were like, okay, we just need a guy.
Yeah.
It makes sense. To
I
me.
think he did a good enough job that it was.
Exactly.
It was very good.
This movie was a hit.
Yeah.
So I mean, it clearly worked. But I feel like if they had somebody else, perhaps it might have been a little bit better because he is in this film a ton. I mean, he's the main character.
Yeah.
So it makes sense. Another character that I actually really liked a lot was Karen Hill.
Yeah.
Played by Lorraine Bracco. I loved her performance, and I looked into her IMDb after the fact, and she's still acting. She's just not in anything like super.
Yeah. And the thing is like, the big thing is that in this movie she was Jewish, he was Italian.
Yeah.
But she gave off the like Italian vibe. She had the
But that is because over time her character evolves.
Right.
She becomes the Italian. Because in the beginning of the film, when they first get married, she didn't like how the other Italian wives were acting. They're all like, they have shitty makeup on, their faces look stupid, their hair, their clothes is trashy.
And then she
transforms and becomes into one of them, essentially. Yep. And her performance was really good. I liked it a lot. Yeah, let's jump into the director of this film. One of the greats. Who do we have?
Martin Scorsese.
Yeah, this is a fantastic director. Directed a ton of films. He has 87 producer credits and 68 director credits.
The thing is, when you hear about a Scorsese film, you just know it's going to be a hit.
Oh, you know it's going to be amazing.
I don't think this man has
made a flop.
Yeah.
I mean, it's possible, but
it's very rare.
It's definitely rare.
It's incredible what this man has done.
Yeah. And you could tell Scorsese and the cast of this film, they're linked forever.
Oh, yeah.
They've been in so many pictures together. I mean, as we'll jump into it, he directed and produced The Irishman, which is two of the characters of this film are in.
Pesci and De Niro.
Yes. He actually directed Shutter Island from 2010, which is one of my top 20 favorite movies of all time.
It's a great movie.
Shit is insane.
Twist and turns.
Oh my god, that's with Mark Ruffalo and
DiCaprio.
One of my favorite films I've seen in a while. Just totally twisted. We talked about it in our second episode, which actually just dropped today.
Yes.
Obviously,
you did Shutter Island.
No, not yet. No. We did the Adam Project, but we talked about Shutter Island for a few minutes.
Because this guy over here is big Mark Ruffalo guy.
I like him.
Mark Ruffalo guy.
Big Mark Ruffalo guy.
That's not a thing. Those exist.
I'm not like a huge fan, but I like him.
Mark Ruffalo. That's kind of funny. That's like being like a Paul Rudd guy.
Paul Rudd's good. I like Paul Rudd more than Ruffalo.
They're good guys,
but that's like saying you like Paul Rudd from the Halloween, like his first appearance in the Halloween movie.
Yeah, like I feel like being like a Mark Ruffalo guy is like
unheard of.
Yeah, he's not like of the like you're like you could be like a Denzel guy or like a DiCaprio guy.
Right.
I feel like a Ruffalo guy is like
it's a little weird. You make it out more than it is. I like him. I don't love him.
You watched the whole.
You said in episode 2 you love Mark Ruffalo.
I do like him. Yeah, he plays good characters.
So
I will quote you on this. You said I'm a big Mark Ruffalo guy.
All right, fine. I guess I am.
So if a movie comes out and Mark Ruffalo is the lead, you're going to see that movie.
Oh, 100%.
I don't know
That's
about
what
that.
He said.
I haven't seen his. I haven't like.
He's gonna binge watch She-Hulk 8 times.
Oh my god,
She-Hulk.
That series. Talking about that, actually, that's gonna be pretty solid, I think.
Oh, we forgot to announce some big news today.
Big news?
Oh my god, I
today
completely forgot.
is the 14th year anniversary of the release of the original Iron Man.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I didn't
We
know
wanted
that.
we wanted to mention this before, but it literally
completely
just
forgot.
slipped our minds.
Yeah, I
and,
mean, you texted me that like 3 hours ago, so
yeah,
I forgot.
that's true.
Um,
But yeah,
Yeah.
it's crazy. I mean,
That
14 years
is
ago.
crazy. The
how
MCU
old were we
began.
when this came out? That was what, 2008?
6?
It was-
I was 6.
Shit, we're young.
6.
You were
14
7.
years
Just
ago?
add another
Yeah,
year.
I was 7.
I was 7.
Yeah.
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 Oh my god.
That's
nuts.
crazy.
Yeah, 14 years.
Holy shit!
I don't think I wasn't really big into MCU though. I think the first.
I wasn't either. The thing was,
I've always been
I
big.
saw, I saw it.
Mhm.
I didn't know what it was about, what the cinematic universe was.
Yeah, I mean,
you
there
know.
was no cinematic
Right.
universe. It was just
Well,
Iron Man.
I saw it, and I didn't know there was an end credit scene.
Yeah.
And then we went to go see Iron Man 2, me, my dad, and my cousin.
Yeah.
And we saw it, and then my cousin's like, "Yo, don't get up from your seat. There's an end credit scene. Wait till." And then
Has
and
that
then
ever
it was,
been
it
done
was,
before Iron Man? Did anybody know that?
I don't know.
I'm not sure. It
I
might
don't
have.
know.
There might have been like very little, like maybe
not,
like
not the way they do it, where
I
it leads
think
to the sequel.
yeah, I
Yeah.
think it would have.
Okay.
It was just like bloopers
Like an
at
extra
the time.
scene.
Yeah, bloopers. I
Yeah,
think.
bloopers or like
Yeah.
deleted scenes, something.
Yeah, I know they've done that, but I don't know if they've done any other film has done stuff like this.
Yeah,
So
and then so
it just created a revolution.
Oh, it
and
was
an
crazy.
entire cinematic universe.
Yeah. and then
15 years later.
yeah,
it's
so I went
whole
to see
series.
Iron Man 2, and then my cousin's like, "Don't end
Yeah,
credit
again.
scene. There's something at the end."
Mhm.
So we stayed, and it's Coulson finding Thor's hammer.
Yeah.
Me not knowing what this is, I'm like, "Dad, what is that?" He goes, "That's Thor.
Yeah.
That's Thor's hammer." And I go, "Cool, we're going to see that one, right?" and that just started a tradition between me and my dad. And we
Yeah.
opening night, we would be in line for these movies at AMC to get the best seats, like
Yeah.
an hour beforehand. And it just started, and
That's
we
dope.
That's awesome.
and we just kept
good
doing that.
tradition.
And it was a very fun thing to experience with my dad.
Are you guys still doing that now?
Yeah, we're
when
actually
you can.
Thursday. Me, my dad, and my sister are all going to see Doctor Strange.
Oh,
Nice.
that's
Yep.
cool. I have to get my tickets. I still don't have tickets for it.
Me either, bro. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a casual Marvel dude. Like I keep up with it because I know that it's a thing that people. Like,
Yeah,
it's
Right.
a pop culture thing.
Yeah, yeah.
But I'm not. I think the first MCU movie I saw was Civil War.
Really.
That was the first one I saw,
Probably one of the best ones to start
and
off
it was
with,
so
too.
good.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, bet. Like I'll keep watching these.
Yeah, of course.
And like they're good movies, but it's a
And did
lot.
you start
to-
from the beginning eventually?
after
Okay,
Civil
okay,
War
cool.
because I was like, okay, who are these guys? And then
Yeah.
like
Right.
you kind of and then like introduce new people and stuff. So I feel like that was
It
kind of
gets
like
confusing.
a turning point. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because then like Ant-Man and all the time, and it's getting wild.
Yeah,
Right.
So like, I have to
exactly.
watch these movies now.
Yeah.
But they're good movies. It's just like a lot to digest now. Like I feel like Endgame happened,
Yeah.
and like I was cool, like leaving
Right,
it there,
right.
And now they're adding new stuff. and
TV
I'm kinda
shows,
like,
new
Well, that's
movies, like-
that's the reason I think I like this phase. Like, what is this phase? This is phase 4 now.
Yes, it's 4.
Yeah. So that's why I think
TV
I
show
like
phase.
this phase so much because it's kind of like that new generation of heroes that not a lot of people know about.
Yeah,
And they're kind
exactly.
of bringing it in. Like Moon Knight. Yeah,
Like,
people kind of know
yeah.
about him, whatever.
But it's more of a comic thing.
Shang-Chi,
Yeah.
not a lot of people know about
Like,
him.
a lot of these guys have never been on the big screen before.
Yeah.
Any of them at all. Like they've
Right.
been in TV shows, like animated shows, years and years ago, but they've been nothing like.
Right,
No,
and
not
this
at
is
all.
this
The
is
movies.
why I kind of like this because it's kind of giving me,
Eternals.
more
Yeah.
phase 1 vibes where I'm gonna have to relearn all this shit about these characters.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Because it's going to be a new saga. It's going to be a different thing. So that's
Yeah.
that's the reason I really like kind of how they're doing phase 4 right
Yeah,
now.
no, I like it too. I feel like in every episode we end up talking about Marvel, no matter what.
One way or another.
One way or
it's
another,
the
we always
biggest
do.
thing.
or
Yeah,
something or something
exactly.
superhero
Yeah,
related.
I mean, we talked about the Flash in last episode
Yep.
with Rescued Ruby
that's
because
something
that's
you
Grant
can't
Gustin.
really
You can't
pass
avoid
up
that.
there.
Because Grant Gustin plays the main character in that, and he's also the Flash.
Oh yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
So yeah. Anyway, if we can jump back into Scorsese,
Right.
he also directs the film Mean Streets from 1973. I haven't seen that. I honestly am not sure what that one is about. Obviously, he directs Taxi Driver from 1976
With De Niro.
With De Niro. And then he is also known for this one, The Age of Innocence from 93. I'm not sure what that one is.
Not familiar.
I'm
I'm
not
not-
familiar with that either.
Yeah, and then he actually produced a few movies, which I was really surprised about. He didn't direct. He produced Uncut Gems,
I
which
was
is
very-
another like mafia-esque film.
Kind of, yeah.
In a way.
It was very fast paced, and I think
It's
A
really
lot of
underrated.
people did like it, but to
Did
me
you?
it was very fast, and I think if I really want to see if I can enjoy it, I might have to watch it again.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be real. I think it's a little overrated.
Really?
I think that because Adam's okay.
Is it because of Sandler?
I hate to be that guy because Adam Sandler's so trash that because the movie's not
Damn.
that bad, it's like, oh my gosh, this is the greatest thing ever. Just because Adam Sandler's not trash.
He's playing something other than a funny guy.
Yeah, he's
Right.
decent.
Yeah.
And so it's like, oh my goodness, this is the greatest thing ever.
Yeah,
because
no, I got you.
we never see a decent Adam Sandler. But if you replace Adam Sandler with De Niro or any of these other actual actors, people
Yeah.
would be like, it's like
Right.
not that great
Yeah,
of a
no,
movie.
I get that.
You know? And
personally-
KG's in it, that type of stuff.
Yeah. I mean, I liked it. It was my girlfriend absolutely hated it. She said it was one of the worst movies she's ever seen.
It was very confusing at times. I have to
No
admit.
doubt. I like it because it's like an Italian kind of
Yeah.
movie, and I mean, me and you are both Italian guys, so
Okay.
I love it. I love stuff like that.
The thing is, I probably will have to rewatch it. If,
Yeah.
if
I
anything.
just don't understand why they shot him. I felt like
yeah,
Yeah.
I don't
It was
either.
just a shock
Didn't
value
he
thing.
win the? He won the
He
money,
won the
and then
money.
they
He
shot
did.
him.
because now they're not gonna get the money. What was the
Exactly.
point?
He
Yeah,
can't
I know.
claim. He can't.
So
Nobody else can
technically,
claim that.
It goes full circle, but what's the point of it if he's just gonna die in the end?
Right.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
It doesn't make any
That's
sense.
what I
We
don't
watched
get.
this whole movie, all this shit transpire,
Just
for
for
it to
this,
not even
just
matter.
get it out.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I don't get.
Yeah.
That chick is bad though. That chick.
I haven't seen it in a while, so I
Yeah.
forget.
I don't.
I forget who that is.
The I forget her name.
Yeah, but up next, he actually produced The Wolf of Wall Street.
Still haven't seen that. I want to.
Are
I
you
really do. I
serious?
really do. I just.
Have you seen it, Nick?
I'm just
Oh,
working.
yeah.
I'm
Okay,
working
good.
on when I'm
I
gonna
know.
watch it.
This
Still
one-
trying to finish Smallville, man.
I know.
Smallville is a good show. I got to
Still,
admit, it's a good show.
Wall Street, we definitely have to do on the show
Yeah.
eventually. This
That
is
is
We're-
probably top 5.
We're
all-time
actually
favorites.
gonna do something special for Wolf of Wall Street. We're gonna dress
Yeah.
up in suits. We're gonna look nice
yeah,
for
we're
you
gonna
guys.
look good.
That is
So-
by far DiCaprio's best
Best film
performance
ever.
to me.
I think
by
so.
far.
I'm kind of pissed that he won for. Not that he was bad in
The
Revenant.
Revenant?
I'm
Yeah,
not
I
that.
haven't
Not
seen
that he
that.
was bad in Revenant.
I haven't seen it yet.
But I'm kind of pissed that he won for that and not like Great Gatsby or.
yeah,
or
there were
Wolf of
so
Wall
many
has
other
a
Street.
films he
great-
was more deserving.
Yeah, I agree.
It took him 20 years?
I think at some
Something
point,
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think at some point though, they're just like, all right, we gotta give him.
Yeah.
we gotta
Yeah,
give
I
him
know.
something.
So the movie that he released,
Yeah.
the most recent, they were like,
All
all
right,
right, just
Yeah, they're
just
like,
give it
all
to
right,
He
him.
You
got
got
cheated
next.
out so many times.
Oh, yeah.
Too. I mean,
like
he-
Titanic, bro.
I
Like,
know.
you're not
Yeah.
giving him-
Come on. That was was that like his big break?
That was kind of
you
like
think?
the
peak.
one.
That was like almost peak.
That's the one.
DiCaprio.
That's like
Yeah.
if that's like his claim to fame, like what he.
Yeah, that's what I figured. But yeah, I didn't know he directed Wolf of Wall Street. It makes sense because
Produced.
you see. Produced. I know he produced it, but you see connections
Right.
and it looks some aspects you can see his influence.
Yeah.
So that's definitely one of my favorite movies of all time, and I
Love
definitely want to get that one on
I
the
will-
show
I will-
eventually.
Don't worry,
Just a
John.
matter
I
of
will
you
get. To,
watching it.
I will get to watching it eventually.
Yeah. This movie is pretty old, obviously, so I want to jump into some visual effects.
Yeah. I mean, there were a lot of good visual effects.
There were some good ones for the time that it came out.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
compared to nowadays, it's kind of trash.
Oh yeah.
Just because of the age. It was, 32 years old, this film, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
90? That's 30. Yeah,
Yeah.
32 years old.
Good job.
Good math
You could
there.
do math.
I
Off
can do
the
math
top.
sometimes. But yes, in this film, there were gunshots. The gunshots, sometimes they looked good when you saw, the flares coming off them and then, the...
The one shot where he's shooting stacks was good because you
That one
see
was
it
good.
you see it kind of perfectly.
And then you
kinda
get the
see-
blood coming off,
Yeah.
too. That was okay. But there was another one in the beginning of the film. The first scene when they're
Oh, where,
pulled
like,
to the
they
side of the
stab-
road
Yeah.
and Tommy DeVito stabs the one cat and then he shoots him. It's
the-
really obvious. There's no bullet holes in him.
Yeah, and there's also no blood splatter.
There's no
or
blood
anything.
spatter. There's no sparks come out of the gun.
Yeah,
So it's really, really poor job on that aspect. But there were certain ones that are actually really good.
but as a '90s film, you can't really
Yeah,
harp on that
exactly,
too much because at the
because of the
time
date.
they probably either didn't have the budget to do that
Yeah.
or they didn't have the power
That's
to
what
do
I'm
that.
thinking.
I thought that Tommy, when Tommy died,
That
was
one
a
was
good-
done.
That
yeah.
was I really
That
like
one was
that and
probably
how
the
they
best
had
one.
the blood
Yeah.
spill.
Because you still see
Yeah.
that nowadays. People do
Yeah.
that a lot.
Oh,
now.
yeah.
yeah,
I mean, that's kind of mainly how it's done. You see them fall to the ground, and then the blood kind of
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
gets bigger and bigger. But
That
I
was
mean,
well
Dude, when
done.
I first saw that scene, when I first watched this movie, I was like, "Holy shit!"
they killed it.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
freaking out. Like, oh my god, they actually
Yeah.
killed him.
Dude, when I first
He was
saw
being
that,
made, and then he
yeah.
got killed. And then
Well, that's-
kind of full circle because they said it in the beginning. He
Killed
killed
the
a guy
main
who
man.
can't be touched,
Right.
unless you get permission, and he just got mad because of the
Yep,
shoe
you
shine.
have the sit down.
Yeah,
and-
Yeah.
he's a made man. You killed the made man. It was
It's
bound to
your
happen.
fault. So pretty much, I guess to explain what that means if you haven't seen the film, a made man is pretty much what a guy that's
it's kind of like
he's an
one
untouchable.
of the
You're just like in the officially a member.
yeah, he's like a really high up member of the mob mafia, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
So that's what being made.
Yeah, he's an
is.
official wise guy, I guess you
Right.
could say. Yeah, so the gunshots, blood, and the guns itself, I thought those were pretty good, but like I said before, nowadays it's
of
kind of
course,
comical.
there's gonna be
Right.
But that's because it was made 32 years ago.
right.
But yeah, I think we should jump into some cinematography. My favorite part of the episode.
Take it off. Take off,
Mm-hmm.
John.
First of all, there was jump cuts throughout this film. When I say there's a lot, I say there's a dick load. Just what I say. There's so many jump cuts, and it
but
works
the thing is,
really,
we have
really well.
to agree with John on that
Because
because
he's
there
awesome.
there are so many jump cuts.
But it works really, really well.
Oh, yeah.
At certain points in this film, they do jump cuts, and the music is full. Pretty much, the music is really loud, and then they'll be like acting something out, so it's like fast paced, and then
Yeah.
all of a sudden it'll just jump to the next scene, and then it starts. Same cycle starts
it's
all over
kind
again.
of like the one scene where towards the end of the film where he's getting caught
Yeah.
with the drugs and everything, and they're like him and Karen, Henry and Karen are bickering back and forth.
Yeah.
And then the music goes full. You can barely hear Karen. She's like, "What's going on? What's going on?" And then he just like runs out and like
Yeah.
does what he has to do with the package
Mm-hmm.
and all that stuff.
I think that's a lot to do with him obviously being on drugs at this point.
I think
Right.
that
And
makes
since-
sense as well.
And the thing is in that scene too, he's narrating really fast to kind of
Yeah.
give off the vibe of him being on coke and
Him
being on
freaking
these
out.
drugs
And
and being paranoid about the helicopter
Right.
and all that stuff.
Since he's narrating, we kind of are seeing it from his point of view, and his point of view, crazy shit's going on, it's hectic, so I
Right.
think that's why you've got the...
Yeah. There's one thing that I want to point out. We did in episode 6. We did Uncharted, and
Yes.
in Uncharted, it kind of goes full circle. So in the beginning of the film, you see him like falling out of the plane,
The airplane,
helicopter
yeah.
thing, and then it explains. It goes back in time. There's a backstory.
Right.
This film is exactly like that. You start off right in the action. You see Tommy stabbing this cat. You don't know what's going on.
Right.
And then eventually it goes back in time. It explains
whole story
Henry's
behind
history, him growing up, and you kind of get full circle.
Yep.
It goes back to eventually after like an hour of the
I
film.
have to say I love movies that do this.
I like
said
it a
I
lot,
said it
too.
in Uncharted and I'll say it again. I love movies
It
that
works
start
really
off
well.
from
Present
present
time.
day
yeah.
and then go back, tell the whole story, and then you get to that scene and you're like, oh, this is how they ended up here.
Yeah, it just
And
it's satisfying.
I didn't see Uncharted. I liked that style, but I feel like now it's like played out almost. Like it's
the
it's a
way they
dope
did
thing.
Uncharted was
It works.
it was
worked
very
well.
well because
Okay,
it kind of was like it was kind of full circle, but in a sense not.
Yeah, not as
Right.
much because like they went back in time, showed his like origins, his beginnings,
Uh-huh.
and then they slowly made their way back.
Yeah.
But they didn't like end it there.
Yeah,
They
because
like
there's like
tell
the,
a whole other bit of the story.
yeah, because you know the movies where it's like, okay, like, oh, you're probably wondering how I ended up here.
I
And
hate
then-
those.
yeah.
Those
You know what I
suck.
mean? Like,
Those are a little annoying.
Yeah,
that-
that's because it's like unnecessary narration at that point. Like you don't need him to say that. Like you know, like you're
Right.
jumping in the action, you clearly don't know what's going on.
Yeah, like
unless
free,
it was like a prequel or something.
unless it's Deadpool, where it's literally a freeze
point.
frame and Deadpool is talking to the viewers.
that
Fourth
works.
wall.
that
Yes, exactly.
that makes sense because he's Deadpool. He breaks the fourth wall.
Yeah.
He's the merc with the mouth. You know, it makes sense.
yeah, totally.
But in other movies, like if it was just like a simple action movie, it's so dumb to like
So dumb.
freeze frame and just be like, "So you're wondering how I got here?" It's
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
no,
it's
just play the fucking movie.
Those
Exactly.
movies really get on my nerves and under my skin, and it bothers me.
Yeah.
But this
Trash.
one does it really, really well. They go
Yeah,
back in time, they tell Henry's history, they get present time, and it makes you feel for the character. Because
Connect,
you can
yeah.
tell he doesn't like doing that stuff.
Yeah.
He doesn't like killing people, really.
Yeah,
And
he's
it's really
he'll-
obvious.
He'll beat the shit out of him,
Yeah,
but he'll
yeah.
never. I don't think we ever see him kill somebody.
I don't think so either.
We always see him beat the shit out of somebody, but I don't
Yeah.
think we've ever
Like you see
seen
him kick
take a life.
people, punch him in
Yeah.
the face. Like
Well, you see the one scene where Karen calls him and he's like, "What happened?" And then he just grabs the gun and just fucking starts beating the shit out of the neighbor with the butt of the gun.
I want to get to that scene. I want to talk about that one. That was really really well done. But
the sound they used for that was awesome.
That was good too. But like this film, they make you feel for the character because they tell how he got there, who he is as a person, and you could tell him and Tommy, they grew up together.
Right.
So they're clearly different personalities. Tommy is more outgoing and aggressive, where he's like, "Oh, I'll kill somebody, no problem."
Right.
Like we see this that he kills the one cat. I don't remember what his name was.
The main man.
No, the kid.
the
you're
one
talking
kid.
about,
He
right?
shoots
At
the
the
kid.
poker game.
Oh yeah,
Snake?
yeah.
No.
Shoot, I can't remember it. It doesn't really matter what his name is, but he
the kid tells him
to go fuck himself.
To go fuck Tommy to go fuck himself, and then De Niro's egging Tommy on.
Yeah.
He's egging him on, and then Tommy just pulls out the gun and just fucking kills this kid.
Yeah.
But he was joking.
Yeah.
He was saying, "Oh, what are you gonna do about it, Tommy?"
Yeah,
Oh, this
while
was Jimmy.
laughing.
This was Jimmy.
Yeah.
De Niro. De Niro says, "Oh, what are you gonna do about it? You're gonna let him
You're
get
gonna
away with it?"
yeah.
And then all of a sudden, he just pulls out his gun and shoots him.
Yeah.
And this is days after shooting him in the foot.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
"Oh, dance monkey, dance monkey."
Yeah.
It's some Italian white kid.
Yeah.
That's like the
Who was getting you drinks. It was essentially Henry Hill's character, just like
Just a different
redone.
Yeah.
Essentially.
that's like the Napoleon complex in him, though. That's like
Yeah.
because
because even then he was like, De Niro was like, "Look what you fucking did. I'm not digging not digging a hole for you." And he goes, "I don't care. It's not my first hole I've dug."
Yeah,
I'm
and
not,
he does that so well. Like,
he just
fucking
shrugs it off
banters.
like it's not,
love
it's
De Niro.
nothing.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's nothing he's done before.
Yeah,
like
he was
nothing he hasn't done
so
before.
good in this film. I really love him. Pesci, in that scene specifically, he was just able to be like, "Oh, fuck you! Like, I'll do it myself." Blah,
Right.
blah, blah, blah. Like you tell me you were kidding with me. Like you're fucking joking around. Like
Right.
go fuck yourself. Like I mean,
Yeah.
he does it so well, and I just loved his performance in this film a lot. Yeah, I want to let you take some because I've been going off here.
Where did you leave off, John?
I left off on Uncharted. On the script.
I have to. Oh, okay. There are also a bunch of L cuts in a few of these scenes. This is where the visuals change, and you still get some of the previous audio.
Yeah.
That happened a lot in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Same with J cut, which is just kind of the opposite.
Yeah. It's a nice touch. Pretty much the J cut is when the audio. The audio happens before the visuals.
Right. And with this type of movie, with a narrated type of movie, that's gonna happen.
Yeah.
It's gonna happen.
Yeah.
I don't think there's gonna be a movie without narration that this doesn't happen with.
Yeah. An example of this in the film, when Henry grabs the gun back from Karen, she screams, "I'm sorry," and she keeps repeating herself. But then it switches visuals, so like the scene changes essentially, and you
Right.
still hear her saying, "I'm sorry, I'm sorry."
Yeah, and
But the kicker with this is it changes to a scene with Janice, or his
shit.
girlfriend, quote unquote,
Yeah.
which I thought was really funny.
That's funny
because it's going to her.
That's very funny.
Yeah, I like that scene a lot actually. Which I want to talk about it a little bit later.
There's another shot that I want to talk about. It was
Yeah.
a single shot that they did, and I love this so much. And you see it in a lot of like these mafia movies, where Henry and Karen are going. I think it's maybe like their third date or something, and he's taking her the back way.
Oh my God, I love
the
this
mob way.
This whole scene is so good.
He's taking her the Italian way.
Yeah.
Let's quote it that way.
Yeah, they go to the kitchen. They
they go through this back
this
back
crazy
room. They
kitchen.
go through these hallways. Henry's saying hello to everybody because he knows
sticking the $20 bill in everybody's
like
jacket.
he talked about as a kid.
Yeah.
And then they
becomes the guy he
did this
looked up to.
they did this in a single shot, no cuts, and I loved it.
It worked
You see
so
them,
nice.
Cutting corners, going through the kitchen.
Yeah, navigating their way
and
through
the
a crazy
cameraman-
kitchen.
And the cameraman is just following them and
Working his magic.
yeah, he's
Yeah, it
doing a
worked
great
nice.
job. And the thing is, I saw something funny. It's like a blink and you'll miss it moment. There's a little thing by the dessert table.
Okay.
There's like little chocolates or something there.
Yeah.
Maybe even olives. I don't know. And you see it. Karen picks one up and eats it. And
Really?
you see it really quickly behind, like when they turn the corner, you kind of see her like kind of put it in her mouth. And it's a very like blink and you'll miss it kind of moment.
Oh. Okay.
So I don't know if it was supposed to be that way or if
Yeah.
she was like food and just snacked.
That's true.
And like tried to hide it from the camera, but
Yeah.
like there's a very quick little glimpse of that.
And with that scene, the beginning of the scene, they actually, like, when they're going down the side entrance, you hear people in the background say, "Oh, like, what are you doing? I can't go that way because there's a huge line."
Mhm.
And he says, "Oh, well, it's better to do it this way than wait on that line."
Yeah,
Right.
And then they get into the
restaurant.
restaurant. Isn't it the Copacabana?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably,
So they go
yeah,
into
yeah.
the Copa, and there's a bunch of people waiting to get a table.
yeah. And this dude just picks up a table, moves
Yeah,
it right
he
in
puts it
front.
in, and
He's like,
then-
"Yeah, why can't we get a table?
Yeah, some guy says that. A bunch of people say it actually.
Yeah.
Like, "Oh, these guys can get a table."
We've
Like,
been waiting 3 hours. Why
Yeah.
can't we get a table?"
And that's just the way that things go. They can get things done for them.
Yep.
And they explain this a lot in the film. Henry says, "Oh, I had a couple kids carry my mom's groceries all the way down the block for her."
Yep, that was
Stuff
even
like
that was in
that.
the beginning, like
Yeah.
in the growing up kind of story.
Yeah.
of
Or
it.
even like when he was talking about how he was gonna go to jail, but then he was like, "Oh, jail was different for wise guys."
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
They're chilling. They got the food. They got the.
I that scene was so cool.
I
like, how
really
they
liked
just
how that was done.
they're just all living together, making the good
Yeah.
Italian food.
Yeah.
They got the sauce, they got the pasta going, they got the super side, they got the
steak.
prosciutto, they got steak,
Yeah,
they got the
they're just
fresh
chilling.
bread. It was
Yeah.
just
oh
like,
my god, the bread part was so funny.
I think
you
I
see
need to
him
go to an-
grab the bread, throw the bread at him. He's
Yeah.
like, "Oh, fresh bread," and he squeezes it, so
Yeah.
you know it's good.
I think
Yeah.
I need to go to a deli after this. I'm getting a little hungry.
Honestly,
I was
me
just
too.
at a deli this morning. That's what I'm
I'm
working
hungry
at. Yeah, no, but that sequence was really good with the them being in jail. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
It shows, this guy, this is his responsibility. He does the
steaks.
bread.
This
he
guy
does
does the
steaks.
sauce. He does the
Yeah.
garlic. You
Yeah.
know.
And in that same scene, you see Henry get his pills.
Yeah, you see the kind of like the
The
first.
first time he really like dives into that is when he first goes to jail. I mean,
Yes.
he was dealing with it beforehand.
Yeah.
Well, because
because-
you see right before he goes to jail, he takes out a pill case. He
Yeah,
pops
he
like one or
pops
two,
up, like
and then
a
he goes,
handful, and
yeah, and then he
shoves it in
goes,
his mouth.
then he goes, all right, take me to jail.
Yeah, and then it jump cuts, by
Yep.
the way, which we talked about.
It
throughout
jump
this entire
cuts
thing.
to Pauly cutting the garlic.
Yeah, which was such a nice shot. It's a close up, pretty much.
Very,
If you
very
didn't see that
close-up.
scene, it's a close up of Pauly slicing cloves of garlic with a razor blade,
Very,
Yeah.
very
and then
thin.
it slowly like zooms out.
And then you get the narration,
Yeah, the
behind that.
The narration made this movie so much better.
It was great. It was great.
I think
And
honestly, if they didn't have the narration, it would not be as good as it was.
There was another scene that included a jump cut.
Yeah.
It went right from the court where Ray Liotta literally stands up and he was narrating beforehand.
Yeah.
And then they cut to him in on the stand, and he's looking dead in the camera.
Yeah.
And he gets up and he starts walking, and he's just still kind of narrating while everybody
Oh,
else
yes,
around
yes.
him is doing
He
their
did
own
that.
Kind of like
thing.
a fourth wall kind
yeah,
of thing.
yeah, pretty
happened-
much.
Because you see him
And
like
it wasn't.
walking
It's
through
not
the
like
court.
it's not like everybody else was like frozen. Like they
No.
were still talking, doing their own
Yeah.
thing.
I was
and
confused by
then
that
it
at
jump
first.
cuts, and then it jump
Yeah.
cuts to him in witness protection.
That
Yeah.
happened once before, I think, because I might be bugging, but I think when the helicopter shit was happening, didn't he go like, "Oh, like, do you guys see this?" or some shit like that? Like,
I
I
don't
feel
know.
like I remember at some point in like when the helicopters like first like
When
whatever.
he first
Right.
sees it, yeah.
yeah, he's like, "Oh, you guys see this?" or something like that, or like.
He very well
He might have
could
been,
have.
but I think
He was saying it to a lot of different people, so
yeah,
maybe
he was saying it
that.
to Karen. He said it to his
on the
brother.
He
phone.
called. I think he called either Jimmy or Pauly.
No,
Yeah.
it was his dealer at the time. Remember?
Oh,
Because
okay.
like then they busted him.
Yeah.
Right.
His whatever Pittsburgh dealer, whatever it was.
That whole sequence I really liked a lot because it was fast paced because he was on the
Because
drugs.
he was.
And then like he's narrating, "Oh, I got to make this stop, this,
Yep.
this. I got to go to Jimmy."
I
give
like
him
how
the
they put
guns."
the time in there for each thing. It
Yeah,
was like-
that was a thing I liked a lot. I'm sorry we're jumping around like crazy, but that was done well. They had time, like little time cards,
Yeah.
pretty much.
Yeah.
Throughout the
especially for that sequence because it's like because he's telling you what he has to do
Yeah.
at this certain time and
exactly.
make it here at this time, whatever.
Because in a lot of the ones where they did time cards, it would just say like 1980,
Right.
I don't know, New York,
right.
and then
Yeah.
at the end it says New York, and then it says like the date, and then it says the time. Something we didn't see throughout the entire film. It was 6:55 specifically, and then it does it again like 2 hours later. It said 8:02 or 8:08 something.
Right.
It doesn't really matter, but that's just the way that they showed like this scene is like important,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
the time between is important. I guess they want the viewers to know how much time has gone in between.
Right.
So, because it shows,
which makes sense.
It shows him going to the hospital to pick up his brother, which I honestly thought, like, I don't know, I didn't love the guy who played his brother.
You know who he is? He's from Pineapple Express and a bunch of like those other kind of. You've never seen Pineapple Express?
Like Rogen,
No.
Seth Rogen,
Franco,
James Franco.
I haven't.
it's like a stoner movie.
Who's the who's the heavier guy? What's his name?
Oh, Jonah Hill.
No, he voices. I can't even think of.
I don't know.
That's
But he's also his brother plays in Pineapple Express as well.
Okay.
I was always told to watch Pineapple Express. I was never, a part of that
not a huge
club.
fan of that.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I was always told to watch Pineapple Express in high school. People said it was a great movie, so I watched it. It was all right. I'm not gonna shit on Pineapple Express.
Yeah.
It's mostly for stoners and all that stuff. But
So,
I was just always told to watch it and that it's a good movie. And then I watched it and I was like, I don't know what the hype's about. Like, it was funny at times, but it wasn't.
those guys, Franco, Rogen. They do like those. Their movies are like a step above Adam Sandler for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Franco and Rogen are like linked together because they're in a few films together.
To be honest, personally, I would probably take an Adam Sandler film over
I would as
Seth
well.
Rogen.
The Interview's pretty good, bro.
The Interview, that movie was gas.
Yeah.
I
So
really
is,
like
like,
that one.
This Is the End is also pretty good.
That one was okay. It was a little.
Didn't love
It was a
that.
little
weird,
like what's
you
it
know.
called? It's like they just did shit for like shock value and
Yeah.
stuff. Like, it wasn't like the script was not probably
Because that
good.
had everybody. That had Jonah Hill. That had
Yeah,
Franco.
Craig Robinson.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That had a lot of people.
Yeah, I didn't love it.
Michael Cera. I think.
But
Yep.
I know you were looking up.
Yeah, the guy. Did
one.
you mean Danny McBride?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. There is one shot that I really enjoyed in this film. It was something that they only did once, and kind of you miss it if you weren't really paying attention. There was this one point where Henry is taking his quote-unquote girlfriend, I think it was Janice, home from the Copa.
Yes.
And they do this really cool night-to-day transition, pretty much telling us, oh, he's sleeping over at her place.
So I read this. I read the script and I read what you put on before watching before rewatching the movie, and I couldn't put
Picture
it
it?
into. I couldn't find it, and I was literally watching, and I was like, I don't know if you're talking about. Like Karen, or if he's talking about
I
girlfriend. So
gotcha.
I'm like,
Oh, yeah, 'cause they both were at the Copa.
Yeah, and I'm
Because
like,
it was
I'm like
they had
watching
girlfriend
it.
night and wife night. Remember?
I'm
Yeah.
watching it, and I'm like, all right, is this the shot? And I was like, no, it didn't switch today. It didn't do this. And then I'm still watching. Then we get to that shot, and I'm like, I got it. I found it.
Yeah, I don't know. I love it, and it was really innovative for 1990.
I love when they do those
because
types of
they
shots.
still do that kind of thing today.
Yeah.
and it works.
Yeah.
it's just it's simple.
I love when
works
they
really
do like a
well.
little time lapse of kind of like the
it'll
whole
show
thing.
like
It'll
it's a
show
little
like either
cheesy.
people walking or like
Yeah.
lights or something.
Oh yeah.
You
The
know.
ones that are really cheesy when you see the sun go up and down.
the
Yeah,
moon,
like
yeah.
like
Moon
does
come up.
full circle. Yeah.
I mean that's cheesy, but like stuff like this where you just see the light, it goes from dark to
Yeah.
sunrise, the sun, and it works really well.
It seems
So,
like they had the shot and then they set up literally the same exact shot, and it kind of just seems like they transitioned from the
they did, like,
nighttime
a
shot to the
fade or
day.
something like that, or dissolve. I
Yeah,
don't know
like
what
they
it was.
dissolved right into that, and it was very well done.
Yeah, I like that one a lot.
There was one more scene that I wanted to talk about that the cinematography was really really good for. It was the scene where Joe Pesci makes the mistake and starts attacking the maid guy,
bad
quote, and you see, you hear Jimmy Conway tell Henry, "Yo, get the door."
Okay.
And then he
yes,
runs.
yes.
He runs and he gets the door. He closes it and he locks it. And then you see the camera, like all shaky, almost like zoom in onto Henry's face, and you see the panic in his eyes, like, and it put that whole panic feeling.
And like we said
onto
before,
everybody.
they're totally different characters, Tommy and
Right.
Henry, because
Henry
Henry
knew they
doesn't
were
like to
fucked.
kill.
Right.
Yeah,
Henry knew they were
they were in
Oh
trouble.
yeah.
And he was pulling him away before,
Yeah.
and then he left because he was frustrated, and he came back and he kicks the shit out of him.
yeah.
And that's eventually when we go full circle because they have to bury him.
Funny thing, I thought for some reason I while rewatching it, I thought that it wasn't him
Yeah.
in the trunk the first time. I thought it was the original owner of the one restaurant.
Oh, okay. The one that burned down?
Yeah, the one they burnt down.
Okay.
I thought it was him at first, and
Oh,
he
yeah,
was
'cause
like,
that guy was a
because he
dick,
was like,
too.
I'm gonna end up in a trunk in the weeds somewhere, and I
Yeah.
was like, in my head before realizing that it's not the same guy, I was like,
Yeah,
you
do.
are.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, with that same scene, with him killing the guy who was already made, when they're digging up his grave and burying him, they
Yeah.
do this really nice color grade. I don't know if it was color grade or they just actually used the red lights, but you see them digging the grave to the right-hand side of the screen and the right third of the screen.
Yeah.
And in the left third, they see, I guess, what was the car headlights, or maybe like a sunset or sunrise,
Right. And
something like that.
you see it again though when they have to re-dig up the body.
Yeah, exactly. Which is the nice
Yeah.
continuity thing they do
Yes.
there.
Right.
But pretty much it's just a red light that shines on them, and it just looks really, really nice.
I think they probably did that to show that like they're doing this around the same time both
Yeah.
times, like digging it and then having to re-dig it
And
up.
I mean, it's a pretty messed up thing that they're doing. They're burying a
Well,
freaking
yeah.
guy. So I mean, I guess that kind of shows the
the kind of
messed up
like maybe the
aspect.
maniacal side of
Yeah.
it, like the
I would say so.
twisted side of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's one scene that I want to talk about really quick, and then we can move on from cinematography. There is one that I think I might have mentioned a little bit. When Karen is holding Henry at gunpoint,
Oh, yeah.
we get a POV shot of each of them. First, it is Karen holding the gun. You see her like aiming it at Henry.
Yep.
And then it switches, and you just see like the tip of the gun. So you're from Karen's point of view, her
Right.
eyes essentially, and you see them like it's going back and forth between the two of them.
Yeah.
And then, like you were saying before, like we were talking before we started recording, you mentioned how you kind of see Henry just like opening his eyes.
Yeah. Henry like opens his eyes like waking up like very slowly, and like
Yeah.
he's kind of got the squinty eyed going, and then he sees the barrel of the gun in his face, and
Yeah.
his eyes just widen,
Yeah.
and it's just
Yeah.
like, oh shit.
So yeah, we see the POV of both of them, and then eventually it goes to this nice wide like medium shot of them on the bed together.
Yeah.
And we see Henry eventually like grab the gun from her, shove her off the bed, and like grab her by the hair, and it's like, don't you ever fucking do this to me again.
Yeah.
I need like I don't need to worry about getting whacked at home. I already have it enough on the
Yeah,
streets.
'cause
Right.
everybody's after him at this point.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And he was like freaking out, and I noticed that was the first time like they showed him actually sleeping at home in a while.
Yeah.
Because he was sleeping with Janice
Yeah.
for a while.
Yep.
It was Janice, correct? At the
Uh,
time,
Janice.
because he
I
had
think
two
so.
girls throughout the film.
That was the one.
It was the
Yeah,
blonde,
no,
and then
it was
the
Janice, because
brunette.
we never saw him actually like kind of stay at the brunette's house. We just
Yeah.
always
Yeah.
heard about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, they showed that, and I like that shot a lot. It's something not really different, but they didn't do that throughout this film. They
Right.
show the POV of them like getting in that tussle.
Right.
Yeah. So if we want to jump into some music here, this is probably one of the best scores I've seen, or soundtracks
Great
I've
music.
seen in a film. It was done by Christopher Brooks, and this film uses music as a little bit more of an aid, more than an aid. Like we've said in movies in the past, the music is supposed to just help the story a
Emphasize
little
your
bit,
story.
but it's not really supposed to carry your story. I
Right.
feel like in this film it really carries it, because in certain scenes there's just subtle dialogue, and it doesn't really like depend on the dialogue in the scene. It depends on the music to tell your story.
Right.
So I know for one scene there's like a baby shower or a kid's birthday, and they're all meeting up, and they're all like introduce themselves, like, oh hi, how you doing, like I don't know, they're all saying hello,
Yeah.
and there's just music full, and it's nice because it's like a calming Italian kind of music,
Right.
Right,
and
right.
it works really nice. So yeah, this film has a bunch of classics. I know a bunch of us Italians, we know a lot of these songs, but then there's some
Oh
that
yeah.
aren't Italian songs that are just absolute classics here.
Seeing the classic.
Yeah, I have them all listed here. The first one, a lot of you guys know this nowadays from TikTok, the sound that goes, oh no, oh no.
I don't
no,
remember
no,
hearing
no.
that.
And this is in the film, but it's not, it doesn't sound that similar. I know it from like the
Okay.
beat. It's called Remember by the Shangri-Las. And it's like an oldie. It sounds
Yeah.
like an oldie song from like the 60s, 70s. And you could tell because it says whatever happened to da-da-da-da-da, and then it
Right.
goes into oh no, oh no. And the first time I ever saw this movie was when it was at its peak. this like the remix
Oh, okay.
of like 2020, 2021.
Right.
I first heard it and I'm like, oh my God, I made that connection. Then I ran downstairs. I'm like, Dad, you know this TikTok song? It's in Goodfellas. And I'm like, holy shit, it's so cool.
All right.
Yeah, so that song, it's a classic nowadays, but that's only really because of the remix. The
Right.
original I didn't even know
Right.
because it was made so long ago.
Yeah. There's plenty of classics here. We'll jump into a few. We got Rags to Riches by Tony Bennett.
Yeah, that one's really good. I didn't know what it was at first.
So I don't know a lot of these titles.
Yeah,
but if you play me the song,
exactly.
I will know it.
That's what I had to
Yeah,
do. I looked up
I
the
agree.
soundtrack and I played a bunch of them, and I was like, oh, I know a song.
Right.
It's good.
Yeah.
and
So-
like while I was watching the movie, I knew what song this was, and
Yeah.
I was like, all right, yeah, good song.
Yeah, like I have Rags to Riches here. I'll play you a little
Yeah,
bit.
go
It's
ahead.
not Rags to Riches by what's his name? The one that just came out.
Oh, Rod Wave.
Yeah, not Rod Wave. it's a little bit different than this. Oh, and of course I get an ad. That's fantastic.
Second time we try to play something, you
I
got
know.
an ad.
Here we go.
Oh, of course. Yeah, we know this.
Yeah, of
Yeah,
course.
yeah.
So
Yeah,
yeah, it's
That's like.
it's a good song.
Yeah.
Yeah. So up next there is Then He Kissed Me by the Crystals. One again, I didn't really know that well, but like I've heard it like maybe once or twice in my life. It's nothing really great.
Right.
Up next is Atlantis by Donovan. Another one I don't really know all that well. And then we have probably one of the most well-known songs of all
love
time,
this song. I love this song.
Beyond the Sea by Bobby
you know this was in
Darin.
Nemo? It was in
Yeah.
fucking
Yeah.
Nemo, dude.
Yeah, I know.
I
And then-
fucking love this.
But that
That's a
was
great
like
tune.
not a remake, but like a remastered version.
Yeah.
This
it was
one has
great.
the
I love
original.
this song.
Yeah, this song is so good.
Plays at the end of Nemo, and you're just like
Yeah.
as a little kid, you're sitting there just like, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Beyond
come
the
on.
sea.
It's so good.
It's great.
And then we have probably one of the best Rolling Stones songs of all time.
That's the stuff.
Give me shelter. I love that song. I remember growing up and I used to play Rock Band a lot with my family, and this was one we always did.
I was always the drummer on Rock Band. Getting off topic,
I was
but
a
always the
singer
drummer.
in Rock Band.
I was guitar.
Fuck you, Johnny. We all know you can sing, okay?
You can sing, Johnny?
I did, yeah. I sang in high school. I was in my
Yeah, you
I was
didn't
in
know
my
that?
my
No.
choir.
We literally like freshman year here, we forced him to sing in our classroom.
my first day in
Yeah.
health class.
He introduced
Yeah.
himself. He was like, what did you say? You were like,
Because she was like, introduce yourself, tell us where you're from, tell us one like cool fact about you.
yeah, and you were like, I
and
can sing or
it-
something.
I was like, yeah, I can sing. I sang in high school.
What did you
I
sing
sang-
in
Yeah.
health class?
They made me sing Ed Sheeran.
yeah,
I'm like, sing the Ed Sheeran.
Right now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm not
Why
doing it
not?
put you
right
on
now.
the spot.
No,
Why
I
not?
hate that's like my biggest fear. I hate being put on the spot, and I said that in that class.
I know.
And I'm like,
But
no,
you still
that's-
did it.
I
You
did
did it then.
Yeah, she wouldn't let me sit down.
Oh yeah,
I
she
was
made him
ta-
stand up.
Wow.
Yeah, I was like, oh no, I'm okay, and I sat down. She's like, no, stand up. You have to do it for us. Now that you said you can sing a little bit, like
Have
do
you
it.
sang on the podcast before?
No, I have
No.
not.
This should
Not
be the
not
first.
One
not
day I
that
will.
little snippet right
That little-
there.
he
Was
did-
that
he
it?
did
That was
try
it.
One day I will, just not today.
Okay, that's fair.
But yeah,
Got a
it's-
shout out to that professor, best professor
Yeah,
we've had.
Professor Carnegie. She's
the best.
She's a homie.
She was the sweetest. She helped me through a lot.
Yeah, so they made me sing in front of the entire class.
Oh,
Like
it was
20,
so fun.
25
It was
kids. It was
great.
embarrassing because like
And now like going back to that after I've known you for
Yeah.
the 3 years, it's so fun. It's so
It's
funny
such
to
a good
look.
story.
It's so funny to look back to.
But yeah, a lot of people don't know that. But I sang in high school. I acted in high school. Did musical theater.
The acting part makes sense because you're like a big film guy.
Yeah,
But I wouldn't take you for a while singing.
yeah. I did musical theater a lot.
What'd
I
you
was
do?
in Beauty and the Beast. I was Lumiere. We did.
wow, couldn't even get the main role.
Yeah, yeah. I auditioned for that, but I wasn't tall enough to fit in the costume. So
I
had me
did-
as Lumiere.
I did some musical theater as well, but I wasn't. I'm not an actor. I'm a behind the scenes guy. I was the
Yeah.
the
See, I
stage
wasn't
manager.
I wasn't a part of any like I did stage crew
Yeah.
when I was like in maybe elementary school, middle
Yeah.
school.
No, I
And,
loved doing it. It was probably my
love it.
favorite time of high school.
I did pit band too. Pit band is fun.
Yeah. Oh, okay. That's
And
cool.
then anything goes, I think.
Yeah. No, I was in like seven or six shows, something like
Okay.
that. You're in Town, Thoroughly Modern Millie, How to Succeed in Business,
Nice.
Spam a Lot.
Spam a lot's good.
Urinetown, Beauty and the Beast, and I think there was maybe one more. But
Beauty and the Beast is hard to do. I feel like for high school.
Yeah, no, that was cool. I was Lumiere, and Lumiere obviously has like the candles that he holds up.
So what did you have to do for that?
I had to hold up 5-pound weights for 2.5 months every single day for like 3 hours long,
to prepare.
just to get my arms ready because I was thinking, oh, this shit's easy. I don't need to do this. And then I do it the first day. I'm like, I'm gonna fucking die.
Yeah,
I'm gonna die. I'm freaking out. I'm like, my arms are so tired.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But I had to hold up actual candles.
Like,
not like real ones.
I was
going to
say
fake.
like
They had like
lit
little
candles.
They had little fans in that would blow like little
wax
things up.
dripping down your
he would have
freaking
dropped
hands.
those candles.
I would have died. I would have caught on fire and died. But yeah,
Hey, you wouldn't have had to do the show the other 3 days.
That is true. But yeah, so I acted in high school a little bit, and that was really fun. Back to the soundtrack here. Another really great song, "Sunshine of Your Love" by Cream. Again, I don't know it by the name, but when it's played,
yeah, I don't know
it really
either.
well.
So I'm gonna actually
look that one
this
up
real quick.
Yeah. So while you find that, I'm gonna move on to the next one. It's Layla by Derek and the Dominoes. Another one I really didn't know that well.
Yeah, honestly, a lot of the score outside of like the Beyond the Sea, the Rolling Stones one. Those are the ones that I kind of knew.
Yeah.
And obviously, we're gonna get to that last one. But those are the ones I kind of knew. Other than that,
yeah,
it's
I
just
didn't know it all that much.
So I found it.
Oh, you have it here? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, I mean, this is such a great song.
Yeah, I played that all the time. That's one of the first riffs I learned.
Yeah,
I
come
love
on,
this.
this song's
I
so good.
love this. But I didn't know. The thing is, I don't know the song titles.
You know, that's a classic riff.
I think it's
yeah.
because of our age. We didn't grow up listening to it, but we were like,
right.
we know
we were
just
kind of
don't know
brought
it by
into
name.
it. Yeah.
Sampled.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, we've heard it sampled. The next song is "What Is Life" by George Harrison. Another one that's not really super popular, but that's just maybe because of age. We don't really know it that well.
Right.
And then the final one, I'll let you take this one here.
My Way by Sid Vicious.
It's a cover, a punk rock cover of Frank
Nobody
Sinatra's
will
song.
ever do it as well as Frank Sinatra.
No one should ever do it.
I looked it up, and I was like,
that's my thing.
I was like,
Okay,
what the hell is this?
So the thing is, let me do something
find
real
it
quick.
and-
I'm gonna find
find it
this
and play
and then I'm gonna compare it to the Frank Sinatra version.
Because I was listening to it, and it was playing at first. I'm like, this guy sounds like he's drunk, and then it gets into like the punk rock, and it actually sounds really good.
All
But the
right,
beginning of it sounds like this guy's mental.
Here we go. French.
Let me see this. What'd you
Parlez-vous
find?
français?
No, it's dude's French.
Sid Vicious?
Oh, you can skip ahead a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What the hell
He
is
sounds
this?
like he's drunk.
Yeah.
But skip a little bit through it, and it gets the good part. This is what was in the film right here.
Oh,
Yeah.
no.
So that's what was in the film.
I don't like that.
It was a little weird, I'm going to be honest. I
don't like that at all.
This part plays when he is in the what is it called? When they put him in hiding.
Witness.
When he was in witness protection, they play this at the end of the film. I think it's like one of the last 1 or 2 songs they play.
Yeah.
All right.
It was just a little suspect.
So since we just played that, I have to play the original now.
Yeah, of course.
Because it's so much better.
Yeah, of course.
It's just so much better. I don't want this drunk guy babbling.
Yeah.
Sinatra's one of my favorite artists.
Sinatra's great, dude.
Yeah, I mean, come on. Him, Dean Martin, like the
Rat Pack.
classic guys.
The Rat Pack.
Yeah.
Sammy Davis. Those guys.
Come on, that's so good.
I can't believe that kind of that makes me angry.
It kind of worked because
Not really.
I don't know.
Yeah.
When I was when I was watching it, I was like, it's okay, all right. But yeah, I want to move on to the script / improv.
Yes.
The use of narration
Beautiful.
and narrators in this script was
Beautiful.
freaking phenomenal. I think without it, it would have been awful.
Yeah.
Will you
100%.
guys agree?
100%.
Yeah.
I think you would have missed out in so many details if you didn't use the narration.
They really made us feel like we were with them. One thing I noted here was we get to hear their inner thoughts and what makes them tick. Like
Yeah.
with Karen, we hear like I said before, I like this scene a lot because of the narration specifically. When she's holding the gun and holding Henry at gunpoint, we get a POV shot of both of them, obviously. And then we hear Karen say that she will never be able to hurt Henry.
Right.
But that was in her thoughts. It
Yeah.
was in her narration.
Yeah.
But when it was like regular dialogue, we would have never known that. So we would have thought, oh, maybe she's actually going to shoot him.
Right.
But we hear the narration, and it's obviously she's not going to shoot him at all.
Yeah.
So,
It's wild.
Yeah.
And the thing is, they only really go back and forth narrating between those two.
yeah, it's
You
nobody else.
don't get Joe Pesci narrating.
Yeah.
You don't get De Niro narrating. You don't even get Pauly narrating.
Yeah.
It's just those two. Because number one, I think it's more so because the book aspect of it.
That's what I'm assuming as well.
I think
Because
that
those are probably the only two who've either,
Spoken
wrote
about
the
it.
book or, talked and actually have their...
Yeah.
Because
You
everybody
gotta
else is
remember-
either in jail.
And these guys are still like, they're still mobsters at the end of the day. So like,
Yeah.
Right.
Henry Hill happened to snitch, but these other guys aren't just gonna give you all these secrets about the
Right.
stuff that they did. 'cause
Even
I'm saying.
even if they're in jail.
You know
like,
what I
they're
mean?
not-
Like,
they're
yeah,
still
there's
not
still these
going
types
to-
of guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the film, they show like what actually happened to these cats.
Yeah, they have the text.
Yeah, they have the text saying like, "Oh, Henry Hill was in prison for
He's
X
still
amount
like
of years."
they said he's still in like when that came
Yeah.
out in
Still in
1990 was
protection.
still in witness protection.
Yeah, I mean,
Can
I don't know
we-
if he's alive still or not.
Can
but
we touch on? Do you guys think that he was in the right for like
What, ratting
ratting
out?
on them?
It was it was so I look at it kind of I want to say rationally because the way he did it, it was either he's going to die
yeah,
or he goes into witness protection for the rest of his life.
Right.
So personally, I would have did what he did because
I mean-
I'm not risking my life.
and not just him; it's his family, it's his
Right,
wife, or
right, his wife, his
eventually
kid-
his ex-wife
Yeah.
because they separated.
I
But-
get that. My only issue is like he goes to Pauly
Yeah.
and he's like, I need money, whatever. Pauly gives him like whatever,
$3,200.
$3,200,
Yeah.
whatever. And he got so offended. And I felt like that was so stupid because Pauly literally said, just don't sell drugs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
And the reason why he got arrested is because he was
drugs.
selling
Selling
drugs.
drugs, yep.
And then he tried to act like, oh, Pauly's trying to kill me for no reason. Like, I
Yeah.
did nothing wrong after everything. Like, dude, you're the reason why you're here.
Exactly.
You did
Right.
this. And now it's time to face the consequences. And you're like, fuck it. Let me just...
we rat
But
out everybody else.
The thing was,
I see both sides of it. I
but
can
also
understand
then
both.
you see Karen go to Jimmy, and
Yeah.
Jimmy was gonna have Karen whacked.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I know, and
That
she
was
could tell.
crazy. Yeah,
I mean,
she knew.
You
As
could
soon
tell
as
as
she
an
saw-
audience member too, because when
Jimmy
because he was
talking.
like he was
he's
like,
like, "Oh yeah, go, keep
just
going,
keep going, keep going.
You know, if he wasn't going to have her killed, he would have gone with her.
yeah,
And be
Yeah.
like, oh, like here
and
you
showing
go,
her
I'll show
showing her
you.
the dresses
Yeah,
and
but
like yeah.
I think they were gonna shoot her like just in the middle of the street, so I think that's why he didn't follow her down.
Yeah.
Because he was
Yeah,
worried
probably.
about getting shot himself.
Yeah.
I think so at least.
And the Florida trip, too? When they
Yeah,
were giving
oh,
us
Yeah,
the
yeah.
thing
when he
in
gave him
Florida.
the matchbox and it
Yeah.
was like,
And again-
yeah, go down to Florida with
Whack
Anthony
this
and
guy.
whack this guy. And,
Yeah.
and then the narration comes in and he
Exactly.
goes, if
I went to Florida.
if I
would
went to
never come
Florida,
back.
I knew I was never gonna come back.
Yeah.
And that's another point with the narration that is like inner thoughts that we don't get.
And that was a huge key point because like
Yeah.
Because we wouldn't have known the
we
position
wouldn't
we're in.
exactly
We, don't know the
we
code.
wouldn't have known anything of that sort. Like
Yeah, no
what
doubt.
like he just doesn't go on the trip to Florida, then we're missing
Mm-hmm.
so many details.
Right.
Like at least with the narration, it tells us, oh, okay, that's why he's not going down to Florida because
Yeah.
they're gonna whack him down there.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's not.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah. There were a few mistakes in this film that I want to touch on.
Mistakes?
Nothing crazy. One was continuity and one was just not really well edited.
Right.
Scorsese
I think
making
I know which.
mistakes.
Yeah. So the first one is continuity here. When Pauly, Henry, and Sonny are talking about the restaurant, Pauly has a cigar in his mouth in a medium shot.
Right.
It's face on. It's a medium shot of him. And they're
Medium
talking,
shot, by the way, is from the chest up.
Yes,
Yeah.
medium shots of chest up. So then I switched to an OTS, which is an over-the-shoulder shot.
Which is usually what you see in like conversations with
or
people.
dialogue. Yeah. So they go from the medium shot with the cigar in his mouth to an over-the-shoulder where the cigarette is gone or the cigar is gone,
Yeah, I think.
and then they go right back.
Yeah.
And it's back.
You're talking about Sonny, right? Like
No, Pauly. Pauly has the cigar in his mouth in one medium shot, and then
there
it
was another
switches.
one. There was another mistake, like
Oh, so
something
there was
like
another
that.
one.
There was another thing like that. Is Sonny the guy that kind of looks like Pauly, but not like the one that owns the barbershop?
No,
Or
Pauly,
Sonny's
Sonny was the one who wanted to needed help with the restaurant.
Right.
Oh, okay.
And he wanted to go in.
Who I'm
with
talking
Henry.
about is who's the guy that owned the barbershop that kind of like got Henry into this in the beginning.
I can't remember his
Because there
name.
was the same thing with that. Like they're
Okay.
like talking and it's a medium shot. He's got a
Yeah.
cigar in his mouth again, and then it cuts to an over the shoulder,
And it's gone.
and the cigar is gone.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, it happened multiple times,
Yep.
I guess. It's a little thing like that, like we said, blink and you miss it moment.
Yep.
It was not really noticeable, but it was there if you caught it. Like I saw it, I'm like I quick paused it and was like, did I just see what I thought I saw? I went back and replayed it. I'm like, oh, okay, nothing crazy.
No.
But there's one more that I caught on. I was like laser focused into this film at this point. It's when Karen calls Henry and he picks her up at the phone booth. They dub over her voice when they're walking to the car. Their backs are turned from the camera, so we don't see it. But then they both turn, and her lips don't match with what she's saying.
Oh,
So I noticed that. It's actually really obvious that it's not.
She probably couldn't
Right.
get the line right.
probably.
I noticed it, and I'm like, oh, this is really, really obvious. I mean, or they just didn't like what she said in the first place.
True.
So
Yeah.
they had to redo it.
True.
But yeah, that's really all I found in terms of mistakes.
I
Yeah,
think
there
it's a very
weren't
well
there
done
weren't
movie.
yeah, there weren't too
Yeah.
many mistakes because once again, like
It's
Nick said,
Scorsese.
it's
Scorsese.
very very
You're not
well
gonna
done.
find that many
Yeah.
things wrong with it. I think we're gonna jump into the meat of the review here. One of our favorite parts here on the pod.
Movie ratings.
Movie ratings here. So I'll let you take it away.
All right. For IMDb, there is an 8.7 out of 10. For Rotten Tomatoes, there is a 96%.
Wow.
And for Metacritic, there is a 90%, which I have to say, I thought Rescued by Ruby was one of the highest ones we've done. This by far trumps that.
But the reason Rescued by Ruby was so high is because it just came out.
Yes. But
Yeah.
there's also, not as many reviews on that because it was so overshadowed, like we said.
By the Adam Project.
By the Adam
Both
Project.
released within the same week.
Yeah.
But this one's 32 years old. It has thousands of reviews.
Yeah, and
so,
this
is trustworthy.
This is literally probably the highest rated movie we've rated so far.
Especially from Metacritic.
Yeah.
Metacritic is really, really critical. They give good movies low ratings. Like Uncharted, it's not a great movie by any means. It's not really.
Yeah, but didn't they give it
good.
what did they
But
give
they
it?
gave
Like a 60 or 50 something? Yeah.
or something.
Yeah.
Not very great. But the Adam Project, they gave like a 75, a 70.
Yeah.
60, oh, no, it was a 69. I was listening
Yep.
to the audio this morning because that episode just released today.
Yep.
They give it a 69, and I thought that movie was a lot better than that. But this one giving it a 90, I think I totally agree with it. I agree with it across the board.
I think 90. I think 90 is the right one. Metacritic
Yeah.
got it right. Rotten Tomatoes a little high.
I think IMDb's
I think
little low.
IMDb and Metacritic are probably in the same ball
I
range.
think 90 to 92 or 9.2 is probably correct.
See, the thing is, I'm okay with a high. So let's say IMDb 87%. Let's just go with that. That's I think from 85 to 90 is a good range to
Agreed.
to put
Yeah,
this
no
movie
doubt.
into.
Because it's not perfect, like, by any means.
Yeah,
Right,
I mean,
we even pointed out, there are some mistakes. There's
Yeah, and there's some acting that's not really fantastic. Like we pointed out, Henry Hill.
right,
Ray
kind
Liotta
of dry,
isn't
dull,
really great.
a little bit. Yeah.
But he's carried by other people,
Oh,
which make it really, really good.
One thing I wanted to mention, while he's going through that whole process, in like the final kind of scenes where he's on the drugs.
Yeah.
So you could tell that it's not his, it's really not him because he's on the drugs. Because from the beginning of the movie, you see him, he's very well put together. He's got his hair done.
Yes, I
he's
noticed
very,
this.
He looked
he
fucked
always,
up.
he always got the gel in his hair. He's got his hair, very well done. And, he's always put together. And then on these drugs, you see he doesn't have his hair done. His hair's all crazy.
His eyes are
Eyes were
beat red.
His eyes are beat red.
Bags under
He's
his eyes.
sweating.
bullets.
This is not the guy that you literally just watched.
It's great continuity.
Yeah.
Great job by Scorsese here.
Yeah.
Most definitely.
I loved it. And And now if we can jump into some earnings from this film.
So
Talk
we
money.
said we all agree with these ratings, though, right?
Yeah.
I said, yeah, Rotten Tomatoes is a little high. IMDb and Metacritic.
I think
Yeah,
that's
I'd probably
perfect-
bring the Rotten
perfect area
Tomatoes
there.
down just maybe a few percentages,
Yeah,
but
I think
nothing.
93,
Yeah.
92.
Yeah, yeah.
I
Exactly.
feel like that's appropriate.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, this movie made a lot of money for the 80s.
Yeah,
Or sorry, the 90s.
Right.
Opening weekend alone, it made $6.3 million.
that's crazy.
And overall, throughout its time in theaters, it made $47 million.
Nice.
So
That's insane.
it almost doubled the budget. The budget was $25 million. And if you do like, I don't know, count in inflation of today, like that's a lot of money.
But like,
Yeah.
dude, $25 million back then, like
Yeah,
$25
budget.
million for a budget, that's crazy. Did the Uncharted was a $120
Yeah.
or what 120 million budget, and there were some mistakes in that as well, and it's like
Yeah.
it's like crazy because like you see what they do with the budget on this one. Granted, there are no like crazy special effects and all that stuff, but it's like holy shit.
Yeah, most of that was probably like paying the
Like this
actors,
is
honestly.
I mean like this is nothing compared to
Oh, I
today's
know.
budget.
So I just did the math here, or not, I did it.
You
I
don't- you
did
don't
a
do-
Google search.
We know
He
you
knows
don't,
math.
we know you don't do math.
I did a Google search.
You got the 32 years thing. So you made-
That was
that is true.
That was hard for him though.
So yes, I did a Google search here. $25 million in 1990 is equivalent to $54 million.
so the
today.
budget would have
So-
been like
so
So
doubled.
it doubled.
yeah.
Yeah. So
But still,
they would have
even
made almost
even for
$100 million.
even for a movie though, that's
that's
low.
really impressive.
Yeah, that's not.
That's
not a
low,
lot of
but what
money.
they came out with was incredible.
Oh, I know. They did such a great job. I think. I mean, we'll see it here in the awards. With what they
Yeah.
had, they did a really good job. So
Yeah, so we're gonna jump into some awards now, and then after the awards, we're gonna talk about our favorite scenes, and then wrap it
We'll
up
wrap
for you
it on up.
guys.
So this is total of 38 nominations, and you said 44 wins.
Yeah,
or is
that's
it the other way
what-
around?
No, that's what IMDb said.
Oh, okay.
IMDb said 44 wins and 38 nominations.
Okay.
So total, I would assume there is
Wait,
82.
How does that work?
Okay,
though?
I was about to say, how did they
I
win
think
44?
so I think they won 44 out of 82, and they
Right,
were
right,
nominated for 38 out of the 82.
That makes sense.
Oh,
okay.
okay,
I was
okay,
about to
gotcha.
ask that same
I
question.
did-
You had me
math.
stumped there for a minute.
I did math, Johnny.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah,
okay.
they added it together.
You
yeah,
added it.
yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
I got you. That's pretty good. Okay. So
Took
what
you
do
a
we
li-
have? What do
took
we
you a
have?
little while to catch on there.
Mathematicians.
Yeah.
on
I
one
mean,
shot.
I can only do a little bit of math. Guys. I'm a comm major. I'm not supposed to do math.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
not a thing.
That's
No.
not a thing.
Shout
yet.
out Math 1100.
Yeah. I mean, come on. I barely passed that.
Right?
So what do we have?
So for the Academy Awards, which is the Oscars,
Mm-hmm.
Joe Pesci won for Best Actor in a Supporting Role,
As he should.
which
Very deserved. He
which
carried this
because
film.
he
It's
was
his
main
movie.
character status almost. in
it's his
this.
movie.
But like he's technically a supporting role. He's not the main
Like
character.
when you think of this movie, like what is the first character that comes to mind for you guys?
De Niro,
Mine is De Niro.
De
and
Niro
Pesci.
De
and then
Niro, or
Pesci.
Pesci, either.
I
Only
don't
because-
think of Ray
but it-
Liotta.
But the thing is, I know Ray Liotta's in it, but like I still go to like Joe Pesci
Yeah,
and,
because
and
they're
De
much
Niro
better.
Yeah,
because they're more well known.
I just really don't need Ray Liotta in this movie. He's just the most replaceable person. Anybody
no,
could have
without a
done
doubt.
what he
Yeah,
did.
no,
Yeah,
I
100%.
don't think there's been a movie unless it has completely tanked where somebody wants to switch out the main character.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird. Like,
Unless it's a completely like shit movie.
yeah, I'm just like, okay, like Ray Liotta, he's cool, but I don't know. There's never a time where I'm watching a movie and I'm like, you know what, Ray Liotta needs to be in this.
Yeah.
You
no,
know,
right,
exactly.
right. It's like, oh yeah, get
Okay.
that guy from Goodfellas that hasn't acted in 20 plus years.
Yeah.
No,
I know.
literally. It's a shame, but
Yeah, but up next in the awards, we have the Boston Society of Film Critics Awards, and they won Best Film, Best Supporting Actor, Joe Pesci, and then Best Director, obviously, Martin Scorsese,
as you should.
as he should, like you said. Yeah,
He earned that.
very deserving.
Yeah,
This-
these are all very, very deserving awards, and
these
they
are just
they
a few of
and
the 44.
yeah, and they pretty much won the same kind of awards just from different associations and different award shows.
I mean, there's smaller award ceremonies.
Because I was scrolling through it and everything I found was they won best film, Scorsese won best director, Joe Pesci won best supporting actor. So I didn't want to bore you guys by reading all of those.
Yeah, because they're all really similar.
Yeah, they're literally the same award, just different associations.
Yeah, exactly. No, that makes sense.
And they also won best film like a lot from these different associations.
Yeah, but now into our favorites of the show.
Do you want to let our special guest
go on first?
Ooh.
So we have our favorite. Okay, so we have our.
You just ruined the podcast, John.
It's over. Start from the top.
Yep. Run it back.
So my favorite scene, I know we might agree on this. It's when they're in, I think it was it Copacabana that they were in?
No, it was the one that they burnt down.
It was the one they burnt down, right. And Tommy's like, oh, am I a joke to you? Like what's so funny to Henry? And he's like, it's funny because it's like.
Funny how?
Right? Yeah. Literally, right? Funny how? Like,
Funny thing is, I had those same wheels turn into my head.
Right? Like,
yep.
It's because you see it. Okay, again, it's the Napoleon complex, like the overcompensating guy, whatever. But it's also like,
you don't really see somebody question that.
Yeah.
You never really see somebody question, why am I funny? How am I funny to you?
Yeah, you
funny like a clown.
Yeah, and then you see Henry Hill like brushing off, like, oh, you're just funny. You're a funny guy.
You're just funny. And, like, he doesn't know what to say because people don't really question that.
And, like, he's clearly, like, dicking around with them.
Yeah.
So.
And I feel like that's kind of, I guess by accident, a lesson in life in general, because I feel like I've said things by people like, oh, like, either that's a cool guy, that's an asshole. And if you ask me why I think that, I probably wouldn't have the answer for you either. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's kind of ironic that it did teach something, but it's just a great scene.
No,
I think
that makes sense. So we also have favorite quotes. I don't know if you had anything, a favorite quote. We can come back to you if you'd like.
Yeah, come back to. I think it's the 2 times thing. Like, I gotta get the paper. When he's talking about the characters.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was just like, because it's just
the
the most memorable thing. Like that's the first thing I think of.
I gotta go get the paper.
Yeah, no, I like that one a lot. That was done. That whole scene was done really well. I want to save that because I know one of us wants to talk about that.
I mean, since we're already on the topic,
let's hear it.
So I have 2 favorite scenes. The first one being the same one as Nick.
Yeah.
You know, Joe Pesci. How am I funny? Funny like a clown? Like I amuse you?
Yeah.
Great scene, classic. And the reason I love that scene so much is because me and my buddy, this was before I had my driver's license. I was probably like 15, 16 at the time. And me, my dad, and my friend went out to Applebee's. And me and my friend were going somewhere after, but we were like, all right, let's grab some food. My dad just starts like doing the whole scene. My buddy is cracking up in the Applebee's, just like pissing himself laughing. Both of us are just going back and forth laughing nonstop. And like, it was a great time. And I love that. I love that scene so much too. It was just great.
Yeah.
My other all-time favorite scene is the scene where Henry's narrating and he's introducing all the guys, and he goes, "Oh, this is Jimmy Six Eyes," and then it cuts to the audio from the scene that we're listening to, and it cuts the narration, and the person who he's talking about like says like, "Hey, how you doing?" or like something like that. And it was very well shot. It was great. Yeah, they all look dead in the camera. And they,
like you are Henry Hill,
right? And it was a really well done shot.
Yeah, I like that
it was
one
a great scene.
Yeah. My favorite scene is the same as Nick's, but I have a little thing to read here about that scene. The scene was reportedly improvised from an experience that Joe Pesci had when he was working as a waiter, and he told a mobster that he thought he was funny. Tommy tells a table full of friends a story about insulting a well-built man who beat him up, and when he came to, he did it again. And then it says, Henry tells him he's funny, and the atmosphere suddenly turns tense. Tommy rants, "How the fuck am I funny? What the fuck is so funny about me?" And then after a few seconds, Henry catches on that Tommy's messing with him, and they burst into laughter.
Yep.
So yeah, that's
I don't know. I think
my favorite part.
I think Tommy, like, that's like the passive aggressive, like, he
That's
was
just how
fucking with
Tommy
him.
is.
Yeah.
He was fucking with him, but Tommy low key was hurt by the funny
Oh,
comment.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
But like, I don't get how you hurt by that because it's like you're funny, dude.
Yeah.
Like, just accept it. Like, it's funny.
And we
It's-
see
it's
this
the
earlier
insecurity.
in the film about the shoe shining thing.
Yeah.
Because like he brushes it off at first, but then the guy keeps like poking him.
Yeah.
He's like, "Oh, go shine my shoes, you fuck." He
Yeah.
says something about it, like, "Oh my god."
Yeah.
No, but that's just how Tommy
like
is as a character.
short-tempered,
Yeah.
and he's one of
Yeah.
those guys. He feels like he always has to prove himself. And
Yeah,
that's
Yeah.
what he's
exactly.
respecting.
Yeah, I mean you don't see it as that in him as a kid because
He
like
gets
they
fucking
show him.
popped.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
then eventually he gets fucked. Or he
All
gets
right.
killed. So yeah.
So you.
Sorry. Pause.
I'm so sorry. I'm immature.
It was such the delayed pause.
Okay. Anyway, I have a favorite quote. I have a favorite quote from this film that I want to talk about. Probably.
Yo, what is this? What's going on? It's pandemonium.
Okay, so my favorite quote is as follows. It's from Henry Hill. As far back as I can remember, I've always wanted to be a gangster.
Yes.
I feel like that film, that quote just explains the entire film.
Oh yeah.
He said it a few times, I feel like, right?
Yeah, well, he talks about it.
Yeah.
A lot.
And right in the beginning, and then once he gets
Yeah.
the suit, his mom even says it. He's
Yeah.
like, "You look
Look
like
too
a
much-
gangster."
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And that's what he wanted to be.
Yeah.
And that's what he became. And then,
Also, I have a favorite quote too.
yes, let's hear it.
Not that anybody cares. No, I'm kidding. Mine's like right at the end in the courtroom scene where the
Yeah.
lawyer goes, "People call them rats because rats will do anything to survive."
That one is
Yeah,
fantastic.
it was great.
I feel like
'Cause
that's where. Oh, my fault.
No,
Continue.
go ahead.
I was gonna say, have you guys seen *Inglourious Bastards*?
Not in a while.
You remember you haven't seen it?
No.
Great film. But in the beginning, like the dude, he does like the Nazi guy in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
He has this whole Christoph Waltz. He has this whole scene where he's talking about like why they call like Jews rats and why it's like not an insult.
Yeah.
And he literally says like something like that. And I don't know. I feel like Tarantino, being a student of film, probably saw that scene and had some type of inspiration
Oh,
from it. 'Cause
most
that's,
likely,
like,
yeah.
That's like a big time part of it. That's just what I thought.
But I also
That's-
I really like this because it's pretty much what he's doing.
yeah.
He's literally
Yeah.
doing anything to survive right now
No,
because
without a doubt.
because he'll get whacked either way.
But, in the beginning of the film, they were told so heavily by Pauly,
Yeah.
two rules.
Being rats is the biggest thing in the
Yeah.
mafia.
Yeah.
If you're a
Yeah.
rat, you're fucking
it.
done.
Yeah.
So two things he said: don't rat out your friends or family. Second one, don't open your mouth or keep
Yep.
your mouth shut.
Keep
Yeah.
your mouth shut.
Essentially the same exact thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's
And
the two
and that's
rules.
so heavily done throughout this
Yeah.
movie.
and
And that's why I think I like this quote so much because
Yeah.
it represents it very well.
yeah, definitely.
And
And
he-
they also
Yeah.
they also show it with physical actions because after the big heist, certain guys go buy certain things.
Yeah.
I think it was
Oh, the
They
coat,
bought
right?
the
There's one
pink
guy-
caddy.
Yeah.
the guy the hair guy.
Uh-huh.
He bought the caddy for his wife.
No. He never got a cut of his money.
Yeah.
No, he never got his money.
Oh, yes, you're right. I'm
It
thinking
was
somebody
the
else.
other
The other cat.
other big guy.
Yeah, he buys the thing for his wife.
Yep.
Yeah.
But it
the
was
car.
But it was a wedding present.
Yeah.
He says.
Uh-huh.
Is in my mom's name.
Yeah, it's in his mom's name. And then the other guy,
With the coat,
Frank,
right?
I think his name was, he buys his
Yeah.
wife a coat and then
Yep.
he gets kicked out and tells him to bring it back. So it's another thing, like, you don't want to rat out your,
Funny
your
thing,
team.
I have to say, I really
Just
like
do
that
physical
guy.
things.
I really like that guy who I
Bought the
guess
coat?
it's Frank. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Because
liked him a lot.
because he would always like do what they asked, but then he would always like mutter in Italian
Yeah.
under his breath. Like
Yeah.
I know.
Like it was so good. It was a great actor.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
no,
I
for
thought he
sure.
was really good. And then they show him dying, well, not
a
really dying.
frickin'
He's already
meat
dead.
locker,
He's
yeah.
freaking frozen
Yeah.
in a meat locker full of, like, cows and lamb and shit. So,
It's crazy.
Yeah.
To that quote, real quick, if you remember in the beginning, when he first gets arrested and he like doesn't snitch and he comes out,
Yeah.
they're like cheering and stuff.
They're literally all waiting for him,
Yeah.
clapping and everything. Yeah.
And it's crazy because like then it's full circle at the end where he's like
Yeah.
staring in the face of them as he's like
Yeah.
basically-
Pointing pointing
Yeah,
them
can you
out.
point him out in the
Pointing them out.
audience?
Yeah.
Or in the...
Oh,
And then it's like note he's pointing to Pauly
Yeah.
Cicero or
exactly.
Jimmy Conway and stuff
Crazy.
like that.
Yeah, no, that was
Yeah.
such a huge part of the film.
And I think
That really
wraps it
everything
up. But
we gotta give
but
our
we also
final
have to give our
ratings.
final ratings, which we rate these movies on 3 different scales: acting, plot, and overall.
Yeah.
Nick, we will start with you again.
So pretty much just on a scale of 1 to 10.
1 to
Yes.
10.
No
acting.
1.5s, nothing like
Yeah.
that.
Gotcha.
Acting, plot, and then overall.
Okay. Plot is 10 out of 10.
Mm-hmm.
Acting is, I'm going to say 8 out of 10.
Is that because of Ray?
Yeah, it's just because of Ray. Everyone else is so good.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Ray's just, my issue is just that he's so, it's not even, he's not likable. It's just the fact that the other characters
Are
make
very
you hate
likable.
them.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, you don't fuck with Tommy. You don't fuck with Jimmy because they move kind of slimy.
Right.
So like, okay, I guess I'll fuck with him.
But like
that means
Ray,
he
it
did
feels
his-
like you can get away with stuff with him
Yeah.
because
Exactly.
he's not either a big bad or like
yeah.
like he'll try to save you more than
Of course.
more
Exactly.
than hurt you.
I just
it-
wish there was more personality there.
Yeah,
Right.
no doubt. But I feel like with Jimmy and Tommy, they did their jobs really well, acting-wise, because
Yeah.
you don't like them because they're slimy.
Exactly.
And that
Yeah.
means, like...
That means they did a
acted
great
it
job.
really well.
Exactly.
So,
So yeah.
it
So
makes you like their
Yeah.
job.
that's the 8
yeah.
out of 10. So overall 9. I'm gonna go with a 9.
Okay.
Okay,
That's fair.
That's really fair. So acting. I'm gonna go with a 9 because of everyone else carrying the film.
Right.
Ray was not awful, but like he wasn't obviously great by any means.
Yeah.
I was okay with him being in this film. It could have been somebody else. I don't really know who else would have played it.
Right.
Like I would need to like dig and find somebody. Specific.
Especially in
From the
that
90s?
especially in that
yeah,
era.
in
yeah.
that time, like I don't really know too many actors.
Yeah.
But plot, I'm gonna go 10, and
Mm-hmm.
then overall, I'm gonna give it a 9, because the acting
Yeah.
carries it, brings it a little down.
Funny thing is, I'm literally in the same boat with you.
Yeah.
I can't give it a better rating
No,
than what
I
Johnny
know.
just did.
Mm-hmm.
It's
I
just
think that
impossible.
just wraps it up perfectly.
And that's
you
our
know.
first 10 on the show, by the way.
Wow.
First 10 we've given anything. Never given anything. A
I
10
thought
at
we
all.
gave Endgame 10s.
I don't think so. I think we
Endgame
gave.
I think
wasn't
I
a
might have.
10?
I think
I
I
think-
gave Endgame a 10.
Maybe you did. I thought I gave it a 9.
What was
My-
wrong with Endgame?
Yeah, seriously.
I don't. I.
That's what I'm saying.
If I'm wrong, I'm sorry.
Endgame
But
being
we
a 9.
might have. I didn't think we did.
To be honest though, we have recorded these very, very quickly.
Yeah.
Endgame's
So-
Mount Rushmore for like films though.
No.
Can we just turn Mount Rushmore into the Avengers?
oh, the 4.
Just the like main guys.
Yeah, right.
Mhm.
So yeah, you guys can watch this on YouTube, Google Play, Apple TV, Vudu, Amazon Prime Video, and HBO Max.
Goodfellas, not the podcast.
Yeah, not the podcast.
Imagine.
Podcast you guys can watch.
I mean,
on
hey, if we
Spotify,
can
YouTube.
get on HBO
clips
Max,
on
HBO Max.
Oh.
No,
I was about to say. Wow.
That'd be cool.
Johnny doesn't know how to market things.
No, I don't.
You can listen to us on Apple Podcasts,
Yeah.
Spotify, and you could also watch us on YouTube.
Yes.
That's how you say it, John.
there you go.
This film you can watch on YouTube, and everything else for $3.99, and then you need HBO Max for a subscription.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Which makes sense.
definitely, or you can find it like I do, totally legally, online on a website. I will not tell you because I don't want it to get
course
taken
not.
down. So
Yes.
yeah, that pretty
Right.
much wraps up.
That wraps up
Today's
episode
episode.
8 of Goodfellas. Thank
Yes.
you, Nick, for being
No
here.
problem. I love this
Thank
movie,
you
and you guys
so
are doing
much.
great. So this was a fun time.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you
Well,
so
we
much for
really
being on.
appreciate your time, and we appreciate you
course.
being on the podcast.
For sure. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
But that wraps it up. Once again, thank you all for listening. Thank you all for watching. And if you have any movie suggestions, if you have
Favorite
any
scene,
any
anything,
favorite
let us
scenes,
know.
DM us on Instagram
Mm-hmm.
at One Shot Movie Podcast Official. I know it's a mouthful, but you know,
You should already be following us anyway.
Yeah.
So that's on you.
Yeah.
So
But yeah, once again, thank you guys, and we will see you in the next one.
yeah. Peace out.
See ya.